Logan, would you like to talk about some things?
Oh, me starting. This is weird.
Well, usually we start with Dan. I'm like,
yeah,
we'll
true.
just we'll switch it.
Yeah,
so what
sure.
are the things that
Can't
you
be
would
first
like
all
to
the time.
discuss?
Yeah, so for people in the States, we are starting school, or a bunch of people are starting school. Actually, all of us, 4 of us, are pretty much out of school. I'm doing online, but that's a different thing. So my topic kind of goes with that. And like my question to you guys is, what's your favorite memory from high school or middle school or just school?
Pretty bold of you to assume that I actually have a good memory from school.
Pretty bold of you to assume that he actually went to school.
That's true. That is true. That is true. So for Dana Weston,
I predict that his is going to have something to do with the Spanish class.
yeah,
Probably.
No, that he said good memories, right?
Well,
Me
how you tell
failing.
it sounds like a fun memory to you.
Me failing is not. That's the only class I've ever failed in my life. I will not say that's a good memory.
You keep reminding us, though. So.
Yeah, I mean, you keep telling
Well,
that
that's 'cause
story.
Maybe
that's
not
it's
good,
funny.
but a favorite.
It's funny. Yeah, I mean, it is funny. I mean, to be fair, it's a.
That was a good one, Gerard. His favorite part was leaving.
I mean, that's a great part if you ask me.
So are we counting out leaving and lunch then?
yes.
Does PE count? Oh my God! Actually, you know what? I got one.
All right, go for it.
I got one. I don't remember what year of high school this was. I know I was in high school. It was possibly my junior year. I don't remember. I could probably scroll back in Facebook and find it because I know I posted it like just because it was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And it's one of those things where you're like only in Iowa, right? So I heard a whole bunch of commotion. It was like 5 p.m. and I was still there. Like I had to finish some things up at the school. You know, like I was doing stuff at the auditorium, doing work. Came down to the commons area to use the vending machine. I was going to grab something and then like head out. Well, the gym was super loud. I'm like, there's not a sporting event. Like, what's going on? I look in the gym, and I kid you not, there was teachers riding around on donkeys playing basketball.
Oh yeah.
They were playing basketball while riding on the back of donkeys, and I don't know why, but like they had the whole gym floor covered in plastic. And there was 2 teams of like 3.
Logan's over there. Yeah, that's
And,
normal,
like, there was
dude.
other
We do
teachers.
that every day.
I know, he
literally-
says it like it's a normal thing.
Literally every year, the teachers did that in the Ringsted campus, the elementary school.
They played donkey basketball?
It's called donkey basketball, and they had it was exactly
Must
that.
be an Armstrong thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
It leaked over to
small
Spirit Lake.
rural country
But like
town thing.
there was no like thing like, oh, this is going on tonight. Like you didn't know, or you
Yeah,
just
like
didn't
the
know about it.
teachers
It's like
were
a
just-
secret society, the Donkey
'Cause, like-
Secret Society.
Because the one at
Donkey
the one
ball.
at our school was like actually like a fundraiser type thing, and like people knew about it. But like if they're just doing it for the fun of it, that's kind of weird.
Maybe that was their secret training in the mountains.
There you go.
The number 1 rule about donkey basketball: don't talk about donkey basketball.
That's true.
Could be.
No, it was just like the weirdest thing though. I will never forget.
There's
Just
nobody watching them at all.
other teachers.
That's weird.
It was just the teachers.
Yeah, that's weird.
They were like they were sitting there in the they were sitting there in the stands or the bleachers, I guess. They had some pulled down, and like just in the front row of the bleachers, they were actually playing donkey basketball, and I don't understand it. I wish I did.
Interesting.
Maybe you don't want to.
It's one of those things that, yeah, I think you're probably right. I don't want to understand it.
Yeah, I always thought it was weird that that was a thing, and then I was like, okay, it's a fundraiser, whatever. That's fine, but just to do it for no reason.
I mean, it
only
made
other
me-
teachers were watching.
I'm telling you,
kinda
it's like some
odd.
crazy secret society.
That is it. There we go.
It made me laugh, to be fair. I was like, you know,
Does that take much?
no,
Truth.
it
Were they
doesn't.
donkeys or were they burros?
They were donkeys.
Not as cool.
I agree.
Sorry. No, it was definitely one of those things that I was like, that just, I'll never forget that. It's a weird memory. It's not even really anything to do with school
Yeah. That's it.
necessarily, but like I was in the school when it happened, so I mean, whatever, I guess.
Did you not try to join? Like,
No,
what,
I
what
was
are you doing,
like-
man?
I was like a little freaked out. I'm like, why are these teachers riding around on donkeys in the gym? You know, they're playing basketball. Like it was 3v3.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the weirdest thing. And the teachers, some of them were in the stands, like screaming and cheering them on. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like I stood at the door, just kind of like so confused because I know there's no reason at all that the teachers in my high school should be riding on donkeys in the gym playing basketball against each other, right?
Well, that's what you think, but maybe there's no reason why they wouldn't be doing
Yeah.
that.
It just seems like the most Iowan thing I've ever heard of in my life.
That's not an Iowan thing. That's just weird.
It is just weird.
It's true. It's straight
It's
up
not
weird.
a common Iowan thing. Don't put that on us.
Yeah,
Well, I
do
mean,
not.
50% of our schools did it.
No, Armstrong did in Spirit Lake, and
Yeah.
they're both stupid. So
Well, it's
agreed.
50% of our schools, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
you
went
can
to
see
one of the
Esterville
worst
doing it.
high schools ever, so.
Well, I mean, yeah, that explains
Then
a lot
again,
now.
For us, maybe it's just that we just never saw.
that's true. It's probably every high school in every state. It's probably just, like I said, some secret society.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
just it's like the weirdest thing ever. But that would
Let's
have
go
to be
play
one of
doggy
mine.
ball.
If we're going with, memories of like classes and stuff, I guess that I'm not entirely sure. Like there was its fun moments, like there was a teacher, he taught freshman health, and I would get us out of doing stuff every day because I would sit there and talk to him about the Minnesota Twins or the Minnesota Vikings, and I would just get this guy going, and he would not stop talking about sports. And so the entire class, like we did not do a single thing because I would talk to him about sports, and it was the easiest thing ever.
Yeah, there's surprisingly a lot of teachers like that you just like talk about something they like and then you just don't do anything because you just talk about what they like.
Yeah, it's
like,
brilliant.
They're called bad teachers.
Yeah, they really are.
No,
They
I
really
loved
are.
this guy
Probably
because it
shouldn't
was
be
the
teachers.
easiest. He's just such an easy class,
Interesting.
Then there was a time I dropped my phone off of a 40-foot drop. That wasn't a good memory, but that's just a memory. I was in the catwalks of the auditorium having to use my phone as a flashlight because I had to replace a light in one of the work lights. Well, or no, it was a house light, but the work lights were broke. It was something wrong with the electrical stuff in the building. So I had my old flip phone in my mouth as a flashlight. I'm leaning over this 40-foot drop, and I had to sneeze.
Oh, geez.
And I couldn't get the phone out of my mouth quick enough because my hands were holding this light bulb that I either dropped the light bulb that cost like $50 or I dropped my flip phone. But like I couldn't save both. I don't think it was one of
Drop
those.
the light bulb.
Well, I didn't have enough time. It's all of a sudden I just I
You have
sneezed.
2 hands, dude.
One of them was holding me from falling. I was
Get good.
leaning over.
Balance. Want some
Okay,
balance, man.
would you want me to fall?
That would be funny.
I mean,
40 feet
You can live.
onto chairs.
you're
Yeah.
pretty huge,
That's
so
like
I
the-
thought it'd be a huge deal.
That reminds me of like the Shane Smith bit where he's talking about how he sneezed on the baby. He's like, I didn't have time
Oh
to put
yeah.
it down.
Hey man,
so
did you just sneeze on my baby? Yeah, I had to sneeze, and it was just, I'm holding the baby. Well, why didn't you just turn away from the baby? That option was not apparent to me at the time. It's just you don't think about it.
Oh man. But
Weston, you got a good memory?
Most of high school was just boring for me. I mean, I was one of those kids that I hate to like brag, but I knew most of everything that was being covered, and it was just really boring for me. So, really, the only good memories I have were probably from the theater department when I was actually like acting and like rehearsing for plays and whatnot. I didn't actually even start into that until my junior year, I believe. Yeah, loads of fun. Didn't think I would actually enjoy it, but I ended up loving it. They're my favorite memories from that time period. Other than that, though, high school was a total bore for me. I really did not much care for it. And I would,
He joined the theater club, and it was the start of something new for him.
heck yeah, I appreciate that.
pretty much.
Speaking of that, I was jamming out to that the other day when we were playing
Of
disc
course
golf.
you were.
I know, it's terrible.
But-
Called him out on it, too.
Did I tell you about what he did when he pulled up to my house the other day?
Yeah, I think we talked about it last time. I think we did.
No, because last time was the musical Suck, so this would have been after. He rolled up to my house. He gets out of his car. I forget what day it was.
Oh, it was
And
Tuesday.
High School Musical is blaring.
Yep.
And he's dancing in the street to High School
Yep.
Musical outside of my
Yeah, that
house.
was
And I'm
Tuesday,
like,
'cause, yeah, we just talked about it on the podcast. It's like, I'm going to do this to make Jordan upset.
This is why you don't have a girlfriend, dude.
No, this is why I should. What are we talking about?
No, this is half of what's wrong with you.
No, this is literally, I'm like baffled even more, honestly. Like, I just don't know.
terrible. Terrible.
I don't know. I mean, when some people are giving you advice and you're saying it's the other way,
We'll see. But
This is
to,
those one.
to be honest,
this
we're all
is one of
single
those
here, so
bits about yourself that you just, you hide, push it out of the daylight,
I'm an honest person.
keep it hidden.
I just say what it is. Getting back on the topic, I think looking back at my high school, there's just a lot of, like, not like specific memories. But
Jordan doesn't have an excuse, by the way.
Yeah, not a lot of specific memories, but just some that come to mind are kind of like Weston, like just being a part of stuff like basketball was a huge thing for me. I love basketball in high school. One of my favorite memories is my freshman or sophomore year. I wasn't ever like great at basketball, so I never played that much. I think my sophomore year, I was on the like bench for varsity, and I never really played. And
There's a reason for that.
Yeah, I wasn't great, but I did end up getting pretty good towards the end of my season or career. But anyway, so like the last game of my sophomore year, my coach was like, "All right, I will play all the bench players," and I never would play on the varsity game. I canned a three, like instantly went in, and I was like, "Let's go!" And everybody's freaking out. It was awesome because like I was really bad at shooting threes my freshman and sophomore year, and then junior senior year I got really good at it. But it was just an awesome moment. And then just in general, my show choir days, I missed those quite a bit, surprisingly. Like winning D1 at state, going to Sioux Falls, and having that whole day Saturday event where like we basically did like 3 performances and then hung out at the school for a bit. And I'm gonna tell you this, I can't remember what school it is, but they had Cheesecake Factory cheesecake for the concessions, and it was like $2 a slice. I probably had a whole cake by the end of the day. It was not good, but it was so.
What do you mean it wasn't good? It's Cheesecake Factory. Of course, it's
good.
It
It
was
was not good for my dad bod, but it was.
No,
hey,
it was great for your dad.
father
bod.
figure.
He is not.
He's
yet
not
a father.
mature enough for that.
He's not mature enough.
But yeah, so I'd say
He has to stop dancing in the streets to High School Musical first.
True.
Did you sing the song whenever you double dribbled the 2 balls?
I just want to point out PK's comment. Basketball and High School Musical. Okay, Troy Bolton.
You're not wrong.
No, not wrong at all. He
Yeah.
basically is the. He's the Sam's Club Troy Bolton.
yeah, I'll take that. Actually, I really will. But no, I think
Oh, boy.
yeah.
Actually,
just
the Dollar Tree brand, whatever that would be.
looking back at that, I think those are some of my favorite memories, and just kind of like the stupid shenanigans you get up to on bus rides to like events or whatever. Like that was always fun. I remember some of the like football games we were driving back, and like none of the guys could sing in our team. Like only a few of us were in choir. And hearing everybody belt "Hold On to Me," what's the Unsteady? That's song Unsteady. Oh my gosh, it was.
Couldn't tell you.
It was very cringy, so bad, like so off pitch, so loud, and it was just I laughed the entire ride home. It was so funny.
It was so bad that I had to go talk about it on a podcast in front of the internet.
Yeah.
I love it. He has to have a response. He's like, yeah.
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 Okay.
Moving on.
Moving on away from that. I don't know. Best moments. I really enjoyed football. Football was my thing.
Yes, that was fun.
So it's nothing like it. People who are like total jerks to you, and you get on the field and it doesn't matter anymore.
It
You
doesn't.
just freaking destroy them, and it's lovely.
Yeah, it doesn't. I remember. I know we talked about football stories already, but one that it actually is kind of a memory of mine is I got knocked out at practice one time because one of the guys above me, who I hanged out with every now and then, we were doing I think kickoffs. We were practicing kickoffs, and we were on the opposite sides, and I was running to tackle the guy who received it. Did not see him. He blindsided me, and I
Been there.
Hold on. Can we? Did he hit you so hard that your butthole hurt?
No, not that hard. But
You're missing
I will
out.
say this. I got knocked out almost instantly, and when I got up, and my teammates around me, they're like, "Dude, your feet touched the back of your head," and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, I didn't think I was out for that long. He's like, "No, you were out for like maybe 30, 40 seconds, but like still, when you got hit, your feet touched the back of your head." I was like, I didn't even know it was that flexible.
You're not.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day at Walmart, right? Or was I with Weston? I was with you. We were walking through Walmart and we were talking about flexibility in high school.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Because I was like, it's surprising. I'm fat. I was a lineman.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I was one of the most flexible guys on the football team, and I don't know how that was even possible. Like, I was able to, like, the sit and reach,
Happens.
I was able to go further than almost anybody else.
Did you stretch a lot?
No, never. I was just one of the most, like, for whatever reason, all the wide receivers, the cornerbacks, like, you know, the running backs, the quick guys that are supposed to be flexible and move quickly, somehow I was more flexible. And I don't understand how someone like this,
Probably genetics.
I don't know, it makes no sense.
You got double jointed. You're double jointed somewhere. I don't know.
No idea.
But yeah, I miss football. Football is the one thing I really miss.
Yeah,
I guess.
it's funny. Like, I remember, like, at the time, like, yeah, I liked football. Obviously, did it all 4 years, but like, I always hated practice.
Oh, practice sucked.
And like, hated doing stuff
it's
like
so
that.
much work.
But
you know,
like, now
but,
that I look back, you know,
Ours
going on
wasn't.
4 years of high.
oh, it just
4
means you
years
didn't
out of it.
try.
No.
Yeah.
And Spirit Lake was garbage.
No.
Yeah.
Not when I was in high school.
Yeah.
You
were
junior-
never good whenever I was in school.
Well, when
we
you were in
destroyed
school,
you every
my
time.
my junior year, we were undefeated and lost in the state championship game, and then my senior year, we lost one game all year, but then we beat that team to go to the Dome, and we won the championship my senior year. So I mean, technically, we were not
Yeah,
garbage.
but you're Spirit Lake. You're garbage.
Okay.
I would have loved to see the Dome and play in it, but
That was fun.
we never won more than 5 games this season.
Were you 1A or were you 8-man?
We were 8. So what happened was, is in middle school, when I first moved in 5th grade, we were Armstrong Ringstead Mustangs, and then Sway City had their own, which was I can't remember who they were. But anyway, when we went to 6th grade, we ended up joining this 2, and we
I
became
remember.
North Union, and at that point we went to 11-man, and we
Because 8-man's not real football.
yeah, it was funny because literally when we went to state as the Mustangs, like back to back to back, like almost every year we would go to state and win it or get like second, in 8-man, and then we joined. Like,
all
got
you need
11-man.
is like a super fast running back or quarterback and
Yep.
like one other skilled
Yep,
player and you
exactly.
win.
That's
You had
exactly
Tyler
what we had.
Tondrum. That's
Yep,
all you needed.
Exactly. I was gonna say that we had Tyler Tondrum, and so yeah, we kicked butt in 8-man, and then we went to 11-man and could not play at all. And like I said, I think the best record they had was like a 5-win season, and that was my junior year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You played what, 11 games? Or 12?
It depends.
We played 9.
Was it 9?
Yeah, we played
I
9.
mean, 5 and 4 though. I mean, that's
Yeah, that's the best we did though.
still over
I think we
500.
played
That's not terrible.
10 or 11 games. I can't remember, but it depends on if you got further out of conference too.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think that's the worst.
yeah,
No.
but it.
That's what it's 500, right?
Yeah,
It's
I
not
guess.
a terrible season. It's
Yeah.
not great, but it's not terrible.
No, it's.
But it's like the best in the school's history out of what?
Well, I mean, it is
going-
Armstrong.
Well, I
Still
mean,
on
my
10
my
years now.
sophomore year, we made playoffs for the first time since my uncle was in high school, and he graduated in like '91. So that kind of tells you how bad Spirit Lake was for years.
You know what's also funny? I look back in it now, and now we're talking about football.
Weston's like, I hate sports.
Well, this kind of just goes to high school in general, right?
Sure.
I look back and I'm like, oh wow, I used to think these high schoolers were so like big and like these football players are jacked and all this stuff, and now like, you know, then I was in high school and I'm like, okay, we're all the same size, whatever. And now I look back and I'm
And
like,
you're like,
these
they
are
were-
high school kids.
Yep.
And I'm like, they look like 2 years old.
Yeah, dude, trust me.
They've gotten smaller, by the way.
They had to have.
my
We had some huge kids.
sister.
Not anymore.
She just started her senior year.
Yeah.
Today was her first day of her senior year, and just knowing some of the kids in her grade,
Yeah.
I'm like, how are you adults?
Yeah. Exactly.
Like they look like they're in middle school. Legitimately look like they're in middle school. But yeah, they're seniors in high school and they're 18 years old. I'm like, are you kidding
Literally,
me?
people have regressed in like size and stuff.
Yeah, I don't.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
As
like-
someone who teaches college, I can verify this.
They just
Sizes
look
are
like-
just going down.
Dude, it's insane. I don't get it.
It really is. Like I've looked at like our teams this year because I'm still friends with my football coach and stuff, and they had like their cookout right before the season starts, and like the whole team was there, and they had a lot of guys compared to like what we usually do.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, this looks like a middle school team. Not one of these guys looks like a high schooler.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually ridiculous seeing, going to band concerts or like, like stuff for my sister. Like she's in plays. She's in, like there was a kid that was a sophomore, I want to say. that was in her musical this last year. And I'm not kidding you when I say this. If you would have told me he was in 3rd grade, I would have believed you. Like, he was the youngest, smallest looking kid I've ever seen, but yet he was like 16. Mm-hmm. I'm like, how? It's like, how are you able to drive?
It's the food.
It's insane.
It's the food.
But I also look back at it and like, so, okay, yeah, kids might be shrinking or whatever. But like, I also think of it as like, you know, I look at the high schoolers that like I looked up to like in middle school and stuff when I first moved, and it's like, I'm bigger than a lot of those guys now. And I'm like, it's so weird. Like, it's such a weird thing.
That's why you're part of huge media.
It's a dad bod.
No, it's like the weirdest thing though, man. But going back to like high school memories, another thing. So like football obviously was one that there's 2 things about high school I miss, like legitimately miss, and that would be football and pottery class.
Pottery class.
Dude, I loved it.
Oh,
I loved pottery class. I'm not kidding you. I had it. It was my class went PE. My senior year, I had PE and then pottery for my second class, and just going after PE and getting to relax and like, you know, just make stuff out of clay. Yeah. It was so therapeutic and just so nice. And like, it was a great way just to start the day. You're like, okay, I just get to go and kind of experiment and like make fun things, you know?
Yeah.
And that's my biggest regret about high school is not taking that all 4 years.
That actually reminds me of a good memory of mine is taking art all 4 years, and just
I wish I took art.
Shout out to my art teacher, Mr. Speltz. He is easily one of the best teachers I've ever had and probably ever will have. He just was so laid back, but yet he made known like his expectations. And so like he would have fun and he would joke with you, but like when he wanted you to do something, he'd be like, all right, get it done. And he just had that respect with with the classmates and stuff like that.
That's actually exactly how our teacher was in high school as well.
And so anyway, like he got me into art. Like I started it as just an elective to just do for fun. I was kind of one of those kids that like, oh, it's just an easy class. I don't have to do anything. But then I really got invested into it and ended up going to some conference art shows in high school, my junior and senior year. I drew a picture of my grandfather like right after he passed, and it turned out really like I was surprised with myself. Like it looks exactly like him, and I gave that to my grandmother for I think her birthday it was. But it's like I never would have gotten into art if it wasn't for him, because like he just pushed me along and like kind of like, hey, like just try it out. Like I know you're probably not gonna be good at it at first, but like just, you know, try drawing this, and you just need to try it out. And so eventually I did, and I was like, yeah, I like this. This is fun. And so
practice makes
Speaking
perfect.
of art, when I was in 4th grade,
it doesn't, because you never get perfect.
Yes, 4th grade. There was a we had to like do a thing, and it was out of, what are they called? Is it oil pastels? Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oil pastels.
Yeah. So we had to draw something out of those, and I drew a yellow lab, and for whatever reason, the art teacher was like, "Oh, that's super good." Sent it off to some art show thing, and like it's currently sitting at a warehouse in Japan as far as I know, and they refused to give it. Like when my parents were like, can we get that back? Like we wanted that. They're like, nope, it's in a warehouse in Japan.
weird.
Like we have no idea why, or it's probably not there now. I find it hard to believe that after, you know, that would have been what, 15, no, how old are you in 4th grade? They'd be like 9 years old.
Not
9 or 10. So we're
So
talking
you're
like
say
7, like
5 in kindergarten. So
I'd say
plus
8.
another 3. So probably 8 to 9.
so we're talking like 17 years ago, right? Like 16, 17 years ago, this thing was, as far as I know, got shipped off to Japan. It's been sitting in a warehouse ever since. And I'm like, I'm never going to get it back.
Seems
ever.
like a Jordan story that I don't believe.
That's interesting. Like,
They
why?
gave it to me on a t-shirt. I think I actually have the t-shirt in a plastic bin downstairs. Like they printed it on a t-shirt. And then it's just gone. I'm like, this is the
That's
worst.
weird. Like, why did they send it to Japan?
I don't know.
I feel like it's some equal opportunity thing.
Well, when we eventually do our Japan trip, we'll go reclaim it. It'll
There
be
you
an
go.
Expedition.
It was probably lost in one of the tsunamis or earthquakes or something.
Probably that nuclear power plant. But yeah, we've been on this for like a half hour now.
Yeah.
I think we should
geez.
probably.
Yeah, let's go to the next one.